beautiful downtown Davenport, Iowa, right off the river, just north of the tracks down here at the latest edition of the Delf's Empire, Delf's Pro Gym. Is this location number 2 now for you guys? Like, is this the second version of the gym?
Correct.
And I am with owners Ryan and Hailey Delf, my pals, and it is a pleasure to have you guys on the show.
Thanks.
When I mentioned something to Ryan about coming on and doing this, I was like, well, come down, we'll do live. And Ryan's like, well, we'll even have some cigars. And I was like, well, I can't say no. I don't want to seem like a wimp. But why is it, Ryan, that I associate you with cigars?
You know, I don't know. It might be because I was nicknamed the Don from my fighting career, but also that nickname came from the cigar lounge that Hailey and I used to own.
Tell me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so what was it, 2021?
Yep, before I got pregnant with our first daughter.
Yep, 2021. We were debating on opening our second location. I was like, you know what? Let's open a cigar lounge first. Go with this. It was like a major hobby at the time. And I'm not a tobacconist or anything, but you know, a cigar enthusiast for sure. And we ended up opening the Cigar Social over on Utica Ridge in Bettendorf, share a parking lot with Biaggi's and Barrel House. And it was a blast for 2 years. And then I was spending a lot of time there. Hailey was pregnant when we first opened it, which we weren't planning on.
And we didn't know about.
Yeah, we didn't know about.
It didn't quite work out after that.
And then I felt like I was missing out on our daughter Teddy's, infancy. And so I ended up selling it to my buddy Chuck, who runs it now.
Oh, so it's still there.
It's still there.
Oh, yeah.
We're just not the owners anymore.
And even better, because Chuck, who took it over, is doing a spectacular job with it.
Well, speaking of spectacular job, I remember the content that you guys were putting out was top notch. Some of the videos and the reels and all that, you guys were like getting out of Escalades and getting into airplanes, and everybody was dressed all gangster, and the inside of that place, it looked really cool. I was like, man, how do I get to be in that exclusive cool kid club?
Right, yeah, the lounge was super cool. Kind of top tier. I mean, you could wear whatever you wanted. Anybody's welcome, but it's kind of that exclusive vibe. And, all that video work was awesome. That's my buddy Max Grega, the most famous Max is his name. He does really good content work.
And he's here in the Quad Cities.
He's in the Quad Cities, yep.
We got to plug him. How do we find him?
The most famous Max on Instagram. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a Facebook, but he does a lot of good work for like restaurants, everybody.
God, I feel like some days I just need to pick one platform and just focus on that one platform. Because when you're trying to be everywhere, man, it's exhausting. Mm-hmm. What's the main platform you guys promote Delf's Gym on? Facebook?
Probably Instagram.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we really don't go that hard on any of them, but I would say Instagram a little more than Facebook. Mm-hmm. But we do both.
Doesn't it suck you can't just run a really bitchin' gym, period? You have to be a carnival barker on top of it and constantly be putting out promotional stuff.
Yeah, kind of. But since we've been doing this for a decade, we found that word of mouth is the best way for people to trust you with their physique and time and money. But I'd say Instagram for sure, just because of the age group that we want to reach, the millennials,
sure.
Gen X, when you're 40 and want to be hot again, that's where we are for sure.
Yeah, I will say that about our clientele and members at the gym. Like, yeah, we advertise online on social media, but like I said, we don't go hardcore on it. Our members and clientele advertise for us word of mouth really well. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
That Quad City jersey you have on, is that new, made to look old, or is that an old jersey?
It's about 4 years old. We made it to promote the gym. Quad City's on the front, and then the back says Delf's Pro Gym. Kind of looks River Bandit-ish, or old school River Bandits, or Chicago Bulls.
It's a super cool jersey because it's got like a retro feel to it, like a look to it. Were those just a limited run, or those are gone?
They were. We probably will do another jersey drop soon, though.
I certainly hope so. I certainly would love to get one of those, but I'm going to make you guys sign it for me so I can hang it up in the podcast studio.
Deal.
10 years in the gym biz.
Yeah, Just about, well, 10 years, 5 years in the gym business, but 10 years of training. Yep.
Well, based on those numbers, if I'm a member of the gym, I'm convinced you're multimillionaires at this point.
That's you, Joe. You sell all the equipment.
Oh yeah, we take all the profits to put in
Which we're
equipment.
expanding, so see you soon.
Are you really? Oh yeah. Tell me about the expansion.
Yeah,
tell
the
everybody
back
else about the
room.
expansion.
When we opened this location last October, we were happy with the 6,000 square feet with moving up from our first location, and quickly found out that the 3 suites that are available in this building, there's just a big open space behind the middle one, and so our landlord said he'll knock down the wall and expand it another 1,000 square feet for us. So that's what we're doing. So we'll have a room confined to just be for wrestling, MMA classes, and that's why we need more equipment for the rest of the
Yeah,
gym.
where our mats are currently, we're going to end up putting mirrors on the back wall and
Yeah.
get more equipment back there.
Well, that's good, and it's good to know that every last piece of equipment will be purchased from Treadmill Heroes. So any of you scalpers out there, you get back. You get back. No, that's great. I remember when you guys first opened up this place. Well, before you opened it up, Ryan, you called me and you're like, "Come on down, check out this building where we're going to be moving the gym to." And I got to be honest, we came down here and woo. Woo, man, they got some work to do down here, because this was just one of the old tired buildings in downtown Davenport at the time. And you walk through it now and it's like, wow, you guys have, every corner of this place has been touched and updated.
Yeah, our friend Pete Stopulus, he and his wife are members here. Pete's a developer downtown. He bought this building to revamp it, and he's also a realtor. He knew that we were looking for a second location. He said, "Hey, I got a building with your name on it." And so we saw this, and one thing, kind of with the cigar lounge too, one thing that we're both able to do is walk into a skeleton shell and just visualize what we want. We're like, boom, that's it. And then it was really rough. And then, but now it's beautiful. This turf out here.
Oh, yeah, you guys, you probably can't see it from the close-up shot, but on the outside here, it's just what is this, a 40 by 60 foot, I don't know, patio out here. I don't know, 20 by 40, I don't know. But it's a big area, and it looks so nice aesthetically from the road when you drive by. You got a bunch of beautiful landscaping and plants and stuff out here. And, well, they say if the restaurant looks crummy from the outside, the food's probably crummy inside. And from the outside here, it looks wonderful. And certainly inside, there's a wow factor in there.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. It's been really cool. Like, we'll get people from not locals, people from outside the area. They'll come in and be like, "Man, this is really cool." You pull up, it looks like something you would see in Arizona because of the turf. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, thanks. Come on in. Get jacked."
All right, Hailey. Ryan was bragging about you the other day. I was in here. We were talking about coming in because by the way, this is my workout home for this last month, and I've been loving coming down here and training.
Good.
Even though it takes me like an hour, it seems like, to get here from home. But whenever I go from my house to Wilton, this is kind of the halfway point, kind of. And so I've been loving the workouts in here. But Ryan and I were talking. I didn't realize you were such a stud in high school. Like you like dominated sports, right? I know you're not going to brag about it. Tell me what sports you played and that you really enjoyed doing in high school.
Hailey never talks about it, so I have to brag her up when I get a chance.
I know. So I know you're a very humble person and you're not one to brag, but at least educate me on the sports that you enjoyed sporting.
I played softball in high school and college, and I ran track, cross country, and I was also a cheerleader.
And you had to be pretty good at softball to play in college.
Yeah.
Where'd you play? And
I played at MCC when it was still open in Muscatine, and then I went on to University of Dubuque before I transferred back to Ambrose, and I took my first head coaching job at Davenport Central. That's why I transferred back to be a B.
MCC is closed?
Well, it's not closed, but there's no longer baseball and softball.
Oh, I was like, man, I'm really behind the times if MCC buttoned up
Muscatine has not
program.
closed, Joe.
Yeah.
Muscatine is still open.
Still there.
All of it. We're all still there.
For the ball players, it's no longer a thing.
Vegas.
All right. now we got the brief overview.
Hold on, I have to totally interrupt
Oh
you,
yeah,
Joe.
Chris,
You'll never guess who owns MuscatVegas.com.
Oh,
Is
I
it
guess,
you?
I guess you do.
Oh,
We are
Nice.
gonna.
Nice.
It's gonna be coming, baby.
Oh, okay. Well, look,
Never
look, we're
mind,
making all
just-
kinds of connections with Chris, the
Quad-
producer here.
Quad Cities all day. Muscat Vegas at night. All day.
Okay, well, we've got our first sound bite from that. Now all we got to do is just pluck that and put it over the logo. Ryan, brag about Hailey, because Hailey's not going to talk about her sports, but you were going on and on about it. And I was
Yeah,
like, wow,
so-
why did I not know this?
She mentioned she played softball in high school, but you were an all-state pitcher in high school, right? And then in college you played outfield. But then, I mean, you were a Drake relay runner and also the cheer captain. And what was the All-American thing you won? Or the...
I was a finalist for America's Homecoming Queen.
There you go. See? Oh, and she was the homecoming queen.
America's homecoming queen?
Yeah.
It's hard enough to be the homecoming queen at any school, let alone America.
That means you're really popular.
Oh my God.
That's why I locked it down.
What does that even mean, America's homecoming queen? I've never even heard of that.
Since it was in 2008, what I can remember is I had to win Homecoming Queen and then write an essay and prove that I was not a piece of shit person. And then they were like, okay, you're good enough to go on to be a finalist. And we went to the bowl game in Memphis, whatever that one is. Yeah.
Look at you. But you guys did not date in high school, right?
No,
No.
Right.
not really.
But you both went to West
Sure did.
at the same time.
Yep,
Yep.
Ryan's a year older than me.
I was an 07 grad. Haley was an 08. I remember when I was a sophomore, I had a buddy who was like, hey, I'm going on a date with this one girl tonight. Her friend's Hailey Nickel. That's Haley's maiden name. Do you want to come hang out and go out with her tonight? And I was like, oh, I know who Hailey is. Heck yeah. I had been scoping her on because I played baseball too. So when she was an 8th grader, you can play 5 years of varsity baseball, softball in Iowa, right?
So back in
when I was
2004.
when I was a freshman, there was this little 8th grader. I'm like, who's that blonde girl over there? Haley was bleach blonde. They're like, oh, that's Hailey Nickel. So I know who she was. And then when he's like, hey, I'm hanging out with them tonight. You want to go? I was like, all right. But we never dated. We hung out a couple times, maybe like made out once. And then I dated a chick for 8 years, so it was off limits.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like that makeout session must have been pretty memorable.
It worked out.
It all worked out the way it was supposed to. That's for sure.
And then, Ryan, you have the all-time win record for wrestling at Davenport West. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Correct. I still do to this day, to my knowledge. Yeah, I had ended up, 121 wins, varsity wins. Sometimes people count their JV wins. That shit doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
So,
JV doesn't
varsity
count.
only.
No, it doesn't count when you were in 5th grade and in a wrestling club. That doesn't count.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's been 18 years. Come on, somebody get good and break that shit.
And you were a heavyweight?
No. So I actually wrestled 160 as a freshman, then
Okay.
160 as a sophomore, 189 as a junior, and then I cut all the way back down from like 200 something to 160 my senior year.
Wow.
Yeah.
He looked pretty bad during those times. Like he looked good, but pretty bad.
Like what do you mean?
Like he was
Yeah.
gonna die.
Oh yeah. Probably sitting there with a sad face on at lunch. Well, I can't eat. I don't get any.
Then
Yeah,
he
I mean,
gained
I-
like 30 pounds back on Thursday nights.
I would literally go. That's one reason why bodybuilding, it's different, right? Bodybuilding, you eat every day, but it's the same shit every day, whereas wrestling, cutting weight, it's a little different. I mean, you literally starve. So I would go with like 2 bananas and water during the week to make weight sometimes. So, but it's kind of built some fortitude and just mental toughness to be able to dig deep in diet and push through workouts and life in general. Like Dan Gable said, once you wrestle, everything else in life is easy. And that's one of the quotes that's kind of stood true to me.
Yeah, that's no joke. Hailey, when did you fall in love with bodybuilding?
Well,
If you ever did, but
Probably 20
based on when
Oh,
I
yeah.
when I first met you, I mean,
deep in it.
you were
Yeah.
like the Quad City bodybuilding chick.
Deep in the cut.
so
Yeah.
So, in about 2015, my first career, I was a high school English teacher, and we were just like drinking way too much and being idiots. And since we were both athletes and out of college and not playing sports anymore, we were like, hey, we kind of got to start doing something and not get fat. So started working out, and we went to old DJs. Remember DJs up on Jevons?
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
R.I.P. DJ.
R.I.P. DJ. Then DePapes took it over, and that's where we trained back in 2015. And that was kind of the start of training for me, too. I was a teacher, and then I was also a trainer. And people at the gym said, you put on muscle really quickly. You should try bodybuilding. And I was like, that sounds pretty dumb. I don't think I want to do that. So it took a while, but then I gave it a shot, and then I was good at it, and I fell in love with it. And I've always loved training. I started lifting weights when I was 12. Been strong since then, but I never thought I would put on a little bikini and strut around, and here we are. It changed my life, for
Hailey
sure.
had the craziest bicep peaks in high school. I'm talking like 14 years old, was benching 135 as a 14-year-old girl with crazy
Wow.
bicep genetics.
It's fun. I've always loved strength training.
Because you have a small frame. You're not a big person, and to be able to put on that much mass, that's impressive. Is it run in the family?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Tell
for
me
sure.
more about that.
My dad was a pretty impressive athlete. He played collegiate football, and he ran track in college, and he was very strong.
Wow.
Well, now look at your sister.
Yeah, and my sister, too. We both just have pretty good genetics when it comes to our shape and muscle building capability.
Well, I got to tell you, and there's lots of pictures of you from a few years back when you were really deep in it. It's so impressive. Because I first met you when you were training up at level 2, up at the Betplex.
Yeah.
It'll always be the Betplex to me.
Betplex.
You know what's funny? I have somewhere in the collection, I have the original floor mat that says Betplex on
nice.
it. That was right in before they were like, nope, it's the level 2
Yeah.
TBK Bank Empire, whatever. So, yeah, that was the first time I met you, and I can't remember who I was talking to, but at the time, like that was like the who's who when that place first opened. You were up there. You were both up there.
Yeah. You were talking to Cody Smith.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was talking to
remember
Cody,
that.
and I'm like, man, like you walked in there, like every single well-known bodybuilder in the Quad Cities seems to be working out here at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And then shortly after that is when you guys opened up the gym, right?
Yeah, but right when COVID happened.
Yeah, we
We
trained
opened up
at
our first location.
We
yeah.
trained people at level 2 from 2018 until like 2020,
yeah.
and then we took every penny we had and then some, and said, "Hey, we're going to open our own gym up there on 53rd." And then the next day or two, COVID hit and the whole world shut down, and we said, "Oh my gosh, what do we
Fun
do?"
times.
Because gyms were forced to be closed, right? If you obey, and
Yeah.
and
We will not obey.
No.
no,
Yeah.
and it was kind of a blessing in disguise, though, because we took that time, the 90 days or whatever, to go in, get the gym ready, paint, move equipment in. And then by the time gyms were able to be 50% capacity, we were open, and we just went full bore. Arrest me.
Well, speaking of that, who was that dude? He was kind of like the leader of the charge. He had like a gym. It was out in New Jersey or somewhere where.
Ian Smith.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, he seemed to be kind of like the guy all the gym owners were looking to as kind of the leader, the guy that was gonna. He had the sword out. He was like,
Yeah.
"Follow me."
Yeah.
Yeah, Attila's gym, I think it was, or something like that.
Attila's. Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that guy?
He ended up selling the gym for some. I don't know what the reason was.
Him and his business partner, they were in legal. It was for years and years, and I think the city finally ended up dropping the charges, but like they froze his bank account.
They were trying to
They
confiscate
seized
money from his bank accounts.
Yeah,
Seize money,
it's
illegal.
pretty
I mean, that's
insane.
illegal.
Dude, what a wild
They
time.
were arresting people for being in the gym.
I should say allegedly. That's what we heard anyway.
Right.
I hope as our kids get older, which you have number 2 on the way,
You sure
right?
do, yeah.
That's why you're not having a cigar with us right now.
That's why.
At least not on camera. It'd be a little taboo if you were sitting here puffing
Not
on a cigar.
smoking.
Which, by the way, do you want to dock my cigar? Is that how this works?
No,
Your lighter died.
Yeah, mine kind of went out and the lighter died, so now I'm just screwed. But it's all right because it was kind of blowing towards
all
Hailey
good.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yours is good though.
Yeah.
We could pass this back and forth. That's good. I'm going to give my lungs a rest anyway. back to the cigar thing real quick. I think it's super sexy when a chick smokes a cigar. Right? Do you feel the same way, Ryan?
Is that it's got to be the oral fixation?
Ooh, that could be part of it. Could be part of it. You know what I do like though? When a woman's like business cat, like suited up or in a nice evening dress and smoking a cigar, there's like there's an aspect of class and elegance to it, and oral fixation.
Yeah.
You get her warmed up with that, and then it's like, good to go after that.
Well, yeah, and there's just a little sprinkle of badassery in there too.
You know what else I like? It's kind of like steroid voice when they get, oh, how you doing?
Oh yeah,
How you doing,
get the
honey?
pipes all warmed
How
up.
you doing, honey?
That's exactly why I sound like this.
You want to meet me in the bathroom?
Yeah, thanks for calling Delf's Gym. This is Hailey. How can I help you?
It's ma'am.
Mass predators.
Oh my gosh. So, and you, Ryan, so you're big into MMA, and that sounds dumb to say. You're into mixed martial arts. You train, you fight. Do you actively still fight?
Yeah, I mean, I announced my
He's
retirement
retired.
after my last fight. I mean, if somebody wants to throw me like at least $10,000 to go fight, I might.
You'll get ready.
Yeah, I mean, I still got it in me, but it's just I have a torn bicep. There's certain things my last 2 fights I wasn't able to do where I was literally fighting one-handed sometimes, And anyway, yeah, I did fight. Had my first fight, amateur MMA fight, when I was still in high school. It was like a month after wrestling season ended, so March 2007, when the old Amsterdam strip joint out there had fights every Thursday.
Where was Amsterdam at?
It was out on like 60th Street, just north of 53rd on Brady.
Yeah, we're.
I don't
Brady
think
and
I ever
Bill
frequented
Jensen.
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
back
hidden
there.
back there, like in an industrial spot, and no longer there. But that's where a lot of like the early 2000s and 2010s fighters started in the area. I mean, that's where I started. Dirty, the guy, he was a guy in here. He might still be working out in there. Zach Mickelwright, like Alex Rosman. There's a lot of people in the area who have gone on to do big things in the MMA world that started fighting in Amsterdam every Thursday. Build your amateur career up.
Was that joint Stars and Stripes? Was that a place where you could fight too, or was that just a dance club? What was that joint?
That was just dance. Club,
No,
right?
no. Stars and Stripes was a place you could fight, but I was too young for that time. That was
right.
like I don't know, 5 years before me, I think.
Well, yeah, because you guys
See,
make me
nightclubs, what
feel a
can go
little
wrong?
old because I'm 43. I graduated in 2000, and so we went to Stars and Stripes, and because Stars and Stripes, they had amateur fight night.
Yeah.
They had a ring set up, and they're like, does anybody weigh between 170 and 190 who wants to come sign the waiver and take on old Haystack McGee over here? And there'd be people that would raise their hand and just get destroyed.
Yeah.
But that was fun to watch.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you just get the like untrained fighters out there, it just becomes a bar brawl. Those are the most exciting fights sometimes. Just throwing haymakers and getting clobbered.
Have you ever been knocked out in a fight?
Never been knocked out. I've lost 2 technical knockouts where the ref stops it.
Yeah.
But I've never been knocked out. Decisions, submission, or 2 TKOs.
You know, I'm sitting here and I'm just kind of like measuring you up a little bit. I'm like, I bet I would start with, and now I'm starting to think like, I don't even know where does a guy even begin with a guy like you? Because you're 6 foot. How much do you weigh?
Right now I'm about 260.
And you're pretty lean. You're
Yeah.
not like flabby 260. You're
Right.
like Jack 260.
I'm a pretty lean 260 right now, but yeah, I don't know. But usually the heavyweights, so heavyweight is 205.1, well, 206, you get a pound allowance. So 206.1 to 265 with that pound 266. So I'm 260 at 6 foot. Most of these guys are 6'5", 6'6" in the heavyweight division, coming down from like 280 to 265. That's tough. It's like you're fighting your big brother. So my style, being a wrestler also, was kind of punch my way inside, try to grapple them up, go for ground and pound or a submission. If you're fighting me, you want to fight from the distance. Don't let me get close to you, because if I get close to you, you might be fucked.
Well, and to that point, so with your wrestling background, did you find it was kind of easy to mix in the striking as well, or did you have to really work at the striking part of it?
Once I tried, for me, I'm kind of just an athlete in general, so I picked it up quickly. But I got to admit, and looking back now, I feel stupid for doing it. I literally relied on my wrestling and grappling abilities and ground and pound for the first 15 fights that I ever had. I didn't even train striking sometimes, other than just sparring in the gym. So once I got with Sean West, who's one of our fighters here, he really brought my striking up.
For sure.
So yeah, how did you really get, like, who was your first, like, other than Sean, like, did you join like a school around here, or did?
Yeah, so the very first place I ever went was MMAG down in the West End. It used to be at St. Mark's in their St. Mark's Church in the West End, in their little gymnasium they have. And since then, they've moved to the Roosevelt Center, I think it is, further in the West End. Gary Schroeder, who was a truancy officer, R.I.P. Gary, at West High School, all kinds of black belts. He has pictures training with, like, Hoist Gracie back in the old man Gracie back in the day. He would tell stories. We'd be like, all right, buddy, all right, yeah, you know. And then at his, I wasn't able to go, but at his funeral, I guess there was pictures of him with the people he was talking about, and everybody's like, damn, this guy wasn't messing around.
He wasn't lying.
And so he's kind of where I first started, and then I went to Militich off and on, and I did a lot on my own. Went to American Top Team in Coconut Creek, Florida for like a month. Bounced around a little bit.
I went to Militich's training one day.
Yeah.
One day, and that was down at Champions.
Yep.
I was like, well, I lift weights. I'm kind of big. I never
No big
wrestled,
deal.
but I'll go in there and I'll just, impose myself on somebody. And they stuck me with, it might have been you. It was a guy that kind of looked like you, but he was a little tubbier, probably way tubbier. And that guy just beat the snot out of me for like 2 hours. Because I remember Pat came into the room, and I'm standing there and just kind of looking around going, oh, okay, well. And he gives this speech like, you got 30 seconds to leave, because once we shut the door, nobody leaves.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, all right, fine. And within a couple minutes, I was like, man, is there a phone I can call my mom to come get me? And I went home and I laid on the couch and just whimpered the rest of the night. I was so exhausted. I wasn't necessarily beat up, like I wasn't getting striked, but man, oh man, that was tough.
For sure.
Yeah.
Did you ever go ahead?
That's kind of what they did there. You know, they would weed you out by beating your ass. I mean, Militich training was one of the, at the time, they were the peak training system in the world. You know, so, and they would train hard and scare people off.
when you look around your gym, like along the wall inside of here, guys, there's just like pictures on pictures of different fighters and bodybuilders and athletes. And these are all people you guys know, right?
They either belong to our gym or we coach them. Yep.
Yep, every single one of them in there.
It's incredible.
Thanks.
Like, it's got to make you guys feel pretty good to be that respected and loved in the world that you guys live in.
We're for sure happy to help and give a platform, like, because you go back to when we started doing MMA and bodybuilding, like there wasn't anything like this for bodybuilding. When I turned pro in 2017, like there was no real like platform for this stuff. Nobody cared. It was still very niche and not accepted by everybody, which bodybuilding for sure is accepted by most people. Maybe not the open divisions, but like the smaller female divisions, like it's a big influencer thing, you know? So what we really tried to do with this is like create a community that we didn't have, to not scoff at you, but to push you, to make you better, and to be with you while you're dieting so fucking hard and trying to go for something that not even a percentage of the population can imagine doing. So that's why we put them on the wall, because people can't fucking do it.
Yeah. If you make it to, talking about bodybuilding, if you actually make it to competition day and get out there and do your thing, you're Jack Titoni, he's the NPC Midwest chairman. Mm-hmm. He said, you're 3%ers. If you actually follow through, you're in the top 3%. Even if you aren't the best on stage that day, you look better than just about everybody else in the world, you know, and you're top 3% is what he always says. Mm-hmm. So we have to showcase them a little bit, throw them on the wall of fame, and show our respect and gratitude, and hopefully they feel cool being on the wall.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because I had set a life goal. This was years ago. I said, because I'd been lifting since I was in 6th grade. Mm-hmm. Little gym, Brisker's Total Fitness, Wilton, Iowa, you know, ride my bike down there and lift weights. And I had always said I'm going to someday get on stage. I want to compete at least one time. And I did. And I dieted from 230 down to 176 on show day.
Damn.
Wow.
And I did all the things that you're supposed to do, like to a T. I remember the day I started training, I bought a bag of cookies and I put them in my pantry, and I'm like, I'm going to eat these when I'm done. And I trained a year straight of just like strict boiling chicken breasts and like doing all the things, and it was so hard and it was so miserable, and you wanted to quit so many times. Just one treat, one thing. And I'm like, because I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to just like, it was like 10, 11 months out. Like, I'm not going to cheat one time. And I didn't, but man, oh man, it's almost impossible. It's almost, especially in this day and age, it's almost impossible to just eat perfectly clean even one day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have so much respect for people who bodybuild, because I would argue it's one of the hardest things you will ever do, is to truly bodybuild and then get on stage.
For sure. Even like fighting's obviously harder
They're just
in the
they're
moment,
different.
but bodybuilding is 24/7. Like every single decision you make, whether it's like your self-talk influencing what your physical body does, how much sleep you're willing to get, the relationships you have with other people, whether you're destroying them or you're letting other people destroy you, keeping up with your job, being a good parent, everything goes into what your physique is going to present like on show day. Every single decision.
Yep.
That's why it's definitely hard.
24/7, like you said, every bite of food you put in your mouth matters. Controlling your cortisol, so your emotions and everything. And we always talk about, a lot of times people go through struggles during prep. Like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, or, oh, my husband or wife doesn't want me to do this. And it's like, well, figure out what's most important to you. This is a first world problem. You are,
Right.
and also the other thing, a lot of times people, when they're bodybuilding, all they do is talk about it. It's like CrossFit or I'm a vegan, right? So you do what you want to do, right? But all they do is talk about it. It's like, look, you decided to do this, so nobody cares. Nobody cares that you're having a bad day. Nobody cares you're tired. Fucking shut up and do what you're supposed to do. First world problems.
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because now looking back, when I was training and doing it, it consumes your whole life. It consumes every thought of every day.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's especially your first go around. It's hard. It's so hard not to just talk about it, but you're right. Here's the crazy thing. Bodybuilding is one of the hardest things someone will ever do. Like, if you do it right, it's also one of the most thankless things you'll ever do. You will train your ass off to go stand on a stage in a high school gym where, other than grandma and maybe your wife or girlfriend who's happy it's finally over, is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, there's such a small fan base for it.
Right.
And I wonder why. I suppose unless you've done it, you can't fully appreciate it. And from an outsider perspective, it's like, oh, look at that guy, he just lives in the gym all day. And it's like, well, no, he's pushing himself harder than he's ever pushed himself in his life.
I think a lot of that stems from people feel inferior when you make those decisions for yourself. Like, that's just projection when they don't support it or have like a little bit of awe for it. Or, you're in prep, or you're out, you're eating chicken and green beans, and people are like asking you a million questions about your diet, or like, can you tell me? I could never do that. I just love dessert so much.
Yeah.
And it's
You don't think I like dessert?
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
all
Who doesn't
projection.
love
Like,
dessert?
It's hard to give appreciation sometimes because people don't want to look in the mirror of that and see like maybe they could be capable of something like that.
Isn't it funny? You brought up a good point. Isn't it funny how the better shape you get in, the less praise or attaboys you get from your inner circle, especially your inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like I'm not drinking.
Right.
Well, it makes the other people in the room who are enjoying some drinks feel uncomfortable.
Right.
It's so weird.
Right.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that's experienced that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Definite thing.
Have you guys experienced that?
Yeah.
100%. I mean, we used to be functioning alcoholics, basically, you know, like Hailey kind of mentioned earlier, and we don't hang out with almost any of those friends anymore. Still like them. They're still our friends, but, you know, we just have different interests now, and they do their thing still, and we do this. And, yeah, I mean, that's kind of like
It's
that.
so hard.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's so many people out there that want to not drink. They just understand it's just not good for you.
Right.
They don't want to do it, but there is that fear of losing their inner circle of friends. So they hold on to it because they love their inner circle so much.
Yeah.
And so they just keep going with the flow.
Yeah. You might lose them, but if you do, they're not your real friends. You know, you might not be able to hang out with them all the time, or you can still hang out with them and just not drink.
Right.
Yeah,
But it's
tough.
hard. It's hard.
It's tough.
It is hard.
It's kind of like when you have a kid and your friends don't have kids yet.
Right.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
You still love each other, but there's this thing now that is there that is not a common bond that you're trying to put focus on, either raising a family or focusing on your health and not drinking anymore. And just from that one thing, you grow distant. And it sucks.
Yep, 100%. I mean, that's kind of happened, not intentionally. We kind of like just hanging out with our daughter, Teddy, anyway, but 100% we don't do anything other than work, gym, which is work, and then hang out with our kid. And that's how we like it, you know.
Are you finding there's a lot of people getting away from drinking?
Yeah. We were just talking about this the other day, actually. The
There's a
percentage.
universal shift.
What was the number on that? Like a...
Well, I think it was something 56% of millennials and younger now say that they don't drink. Which
There's a huge,
that's crazy, especially, I mean,
huge
growing
swing
up in
numbers.
in rural Iowa here, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and that is, I feel, a positive thing that has come from social media.
Definitely.
We are getting a lot more information than we've ever had when it comes to just health and wellness and the goods and the bads. Yeah, I find myself now when I'm enjoying a cocktail, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know, this is poison.
Right,
You're
right.
literally poisoning yourself
Right.
when you do this. And so, yeah, but there again, you have that social pull.
Yep. Yep. I got to add too. You know, drinking's going down in numbers when Rookies closes.
Right,
Rookies
right.
close?
Closed.
They closed
like
like
a couple
last
weeks
Monday.
ago. Yeah.
What
Come
are
on,
they-
come
what-
on, college kids.
What are they going to do with the sign? I like signs. I need
there you go.
Better inquire.
rookie because I want one of your Delf signs. You still have that shell hanging on the old
Yep.
building
We
up
do.
there. I want one of
Yeah.
those,
We got two of them.
Gotcha.
but I don't have any money. But I mean, we might take it down.
We'll trade you.
Yeah.
We'll give it to the King of Wilton.
Well, no, I'm not the king of anything. I'm the king of wishful thinking. Is all I am. Can I tell you guys a bodybuilding story?
Yeah.
When I was doing my show, I was maybe a month out. I mean, so I was really into it. My wife, now girlfriend at the time, we were at Blockbuster Video. She was going to law school at the time. And we're standing in line to rent a movie. And they had protein bars. They had the Detour bars.
Oh,
Remember
those
the
were so
Detour bars? Tasted just like a Snickers. They had the Detour bar. And I was like, oh. So I went over, I looked at the label, and I saw it had like however many sugars in it, which anything above 0, I was like, and I looked at it, and I started to get emotional, and I started sobbing in line at Blockbuster Video. And Lynn looks over at me, she goes, what's wrong? And I took it and I threw it on the shelf, and I go, I can't have it. And I went out to the car. And I sat out there, and and I mean, it's such an emotional toll. It sounds so silly to tell that story now, but I can go right back to that moment and how devastated I was that I just couldn't have one bite of that Detour bar.
If you've never physically starved, you don't understand. We get it.
And totally understandable too. I used to get those Detour bars at DJ's Body Shop all the time back in the day. They're so
worth
good.
it.
They were so.
Yeah.
You want to talk about poisonous? Those were poisonous.
Oh, yeah.
They had some protein on the label, but I don't know.
It's gonna make your toilet bubble too.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know the old supplements back in the day. It's so fun to talk about the old animal packs. Remember the animal packs?
Oh,
You'd
yeah.
rip open, and there was like 50 pills in there. You didn't even know what they were.
Yeah. I don't even know.
He never took. He doesn't
I
take
can't.
pills.
I
He
can't take pills. I gotta chew them up.
He can swallow half a cheeseburger in one bite, but he's too much of it.
Mr. Big
Yeah.
260.
So, if you're asking about how to approach him in a fight, if you try to make him swallow,
I'm gonna throw some pills at you. I'm gonna make you try and swallow an
He's gonna
Advil
baby
before I
step.
A
fight.
whole
It's
cheeseburger
not
or a wiener,
happening.
but can't.
Really?
swallow a
Like
little
if you
pill.
have a headache, you can't take a couple Tylenol?
I've probably taken 5 Tylenol my entire
he'll
life.
crunch him up.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
I'll chew them up and like eat an Oreo with it. Can't taste it, and you get an Oreo. But yeah, I really
I know.
don't do medicine
Now you
or
know.
anything.
My well, maybe you did the same thing. My sister Laura used to when she was taking fish oil pills. She couldn't swallow pills, so she would poke a hole through it with a toothpick
In a fish
and drain
oil?
out the fish oil pills into a shot glass and then take a shot of.
That's disgusting.
Oh, it was so gross.
That's
I slack on the
disgusting.
fish oil, but when I do, I would do the liquid fish oil. Get like a lemon flavored one. It's still nasty,
It's pretty bad.
but that's what I got to do.
All right, if your supplement cabinet is on fire and you can only grab 3 supplements to save, what are your 3 big ones that you can't live without?
Testosterone,
Okay, HGA.
pre-workout. Oh, growth if it's in there. Pre-workout and a protein powder. Honestly, yep.
Those are your
Yep.
go-to.
Yep, I'm very open about everything. By the way, so test, pre-workout, protein.
You know, I'm glad you're open about that because I feel like there's a lot of people who still feel like that's taboo, but yet there's 3 or 4 places in the Quad Cities you can go into right
Yeah.
now and get TRT.
100%.
And well, speak as an advocate of it. Like, why should the average person who's sitting around all mopey and sad with no energy consider that?
Yeah, so I mean, definitely before you ever consider anything, go and get your blood work done, right? And I was 26 years old, had never taken any black market supplements like that, and I went and got my testosterone done at ACI Medicine. Shout out to Sean Snyder at ACI Medicine.
Sup, Sean?
And my test levels were at like 250 for a 26-year-old man. I was in great
pretty
shape.
bad.
I felt good. I was stronger than most people. But he's like, hey, man, you are subpar. We need to, and I had estrogen levels of like a normal woman, stuff like that. You know,
What should it be at for a 26-year-old
So,
guy?
A normal adult male should be between 500 and 900 nanoliters per deciliter, to my knowledge. And now, so although the medical field has since
keep dropping it.
dropped the normal level to about 300, but even then I was below that. So normal nowadays is not what it's supposed to be. But anyway, you should be between 500 and 900 naturally, right? And I was at like 250. I felt fine, but I did have a little anxiety and a difficult time sleeping. And then so I started
not as
TRT.
much motivation, like
Yeah,
you know.
just unmotivated and yeah. But TRT is life-changing if you qualify for it. And I know all kinds of guys that are on TRT and you can't tell,
Yeah.
So,
But you could tell if they weren't.
But they feel better, all kinds of stuff, But it is life-changing.
Well, and let's face it, our diet is different than what it was back in the 70s and even 80s. The food, the water, all the things, those contribute to just lowering your natural testosterone.
Yeah, our food's full of plastic, GMOs. You go look at the studies of mice who have been eating GMO corn for years, and the second generation is smaller, and then by the third generation, they're sterile. They can't even have kids, so their test levels are dropping, right? And we're eating these GMOs too, and then you have all the birth control in the water. People can say this is conspiracy, but come on, read a damn book.
Yeah.
And it's proven.
Or at least watch a reel.
Yeah, watch a damn reel.
Get on TikTok at
Watch a
least.
reel.
Yeah.
Makes the freaking frogs gay. Atrazine.
But it's a real
thing.
It's a real thing. And what you're talking about is the fact that our water filtration system does not have a way of filtering out the birth control medicines that make its way into the water, right?
No pharmacology at all.
Yeah, and so it just recycles, and so when we're drinking tap water or even probably filtered water, right, it still has it in there to a degree.
Yeah, I think unless it's a Berkey water filter or reverse osmosis, you're screwed. Yeah.
And so men are natural, or they're just everyday consuming remnants of birth control.
Yep.
I mean,
Along with sedentary lifestyle and all that.
And it's the same thing on the female side. I mean, my generation specifically was just totally lied to about birth control and how it's just like a super liberating thing. But now if you look at our fertility crisis in this country, it's insane. So, and I work with clients with this all the time, and TRT is eventually an option for them too. But like getting off of birth control, trying to figure out a natural way to track your cycle, which nobody's taught, it goes a long way. But the estrogen, the progestin mimickers that go into the female body ruins it too, and it also brings our testosterone down, which needs to be higher for things like energy, assertiveness, libido, all of that stuff. It's all the same things. Not to mention stress regulation, like the amount of stress that men can handle a little bit better that women are under totally just screws our hormonal system. Like the endocrine system is just at a loss with how much stress we have to handle on a daily basis. And then you put the water and the food and all the trash in it, and there's nothing there either.
You know what I've observed when you talk to someone who has a history of bodybuilding and at a high level, they're typically very educated and very well read, especially of the generation, before right now, because you had to gain all that knowledge from just web searches and or Muscle and Fiction or Flex magazine or whatever it was. And we're getting way dumber. Like now, if you can't get the answer within a quick reel of like how to do this thing or what supplements to take or whatever, you don't do it. Where I commend you for being so well read. And so what you're saying is, if somebody is having a hard time with fertility or some of those things, you've got a little inside track that you might be able to help them out with.
Yeah, for sure. And that I'd say, 90% of our clientele, whether they get into bodybuilding eventually, are just people that want to feel better and look better. And a lot of times it comes back to, what are you putting in your body and how can we get you hormonally functioning better? And then at a certain point, you do have to consult a doctor. For a lot of people, especially women, young women that want to have kids eventually, that have been on hormonal birth control for a decade plus. Like there's just no communication there, and they wonder why. It's a fast track into antidepressants, SSRIs, amphetamines, like all of it just kind of is, you follow the money trail, and it makes a lot of sense. But we can do a lot when it comes to emotional and stress regulation, working out, figuring out how to balance all of the stressors in your life, like your job and your relationships, and it goes a long way. But if sometimes there's a handoff there where there has to be supplementation. And
then at that point, we hate on general practitioners a lot, but there's some good ones out there. But at that point, that's when you need an endocrinologist or a nurse practitioner that specializes in hormones.
Are they around the Quad Cities?
There's Sean at ACI Medicine, and then there's Limitless Male. I don't know if they do women there or not. I've never been there.
I think they do help women, but it's more of we'll help you if you come in, but I wouldn't say it's the best thing.
And then I hear that about a lot of general practitioners too. They're like, oh yeah, I'm doing TRT through my medical doctor. Like, well, do they have you on an estrogen control or anything? They're like, no. They said I didn't need one. Well, even if you don't have negative side effects, you probably still should have some, so you keep your base estrogen level where it's at. You don't want it to crash. You don't want it to increase.
What's that place up by the TBK Center? It's called like Mint, Aesthetic and Wellness Center.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I wonder if Mint stands, if it's like an acronym for something. But I've wondered if that's kind of like a Limitless Male type of place as well. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah,
we don't get out there too much.
Yeah, we haven't been out to TBK we went out to dinner at what's that place we went with Caden and Caitlin?
Oh, Plus Saporis.
Yeah, Plus Saporis.
You been
awesome.
there?
You got to go eat there. But that's the only time we've been out there.
That's that Mediterranean place.
Yes.
Freaking good.
It is. So I want to plug those guys because I've
So good.
I've eaten there. We went there as a family, loved it. It's a great place. The sign on the building throws you a little bit. It doesn't feel like it's a restaurant when you drive by. It for whatever, and I live out there. I drive by it all the time.
Right.
I don't know what it looks like, but it doesn't say restaurant. But if you go in there, the whole thing is a grand slam.
Yeah, it's great.
So good. It was honestly probably, I don't know if they're known for their pizza, but we had their pizza for an appetizer.
Yeah, we had
It
a
was
lot.
so
We
good.
had
It might
like
be the
5
best pizza I've
courses.
had in the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, check it
Yeah.
out. They're like little 10 or 15, like 10 inchers. They're good.
Do they deliver? We only live like a mile from there.
Holler at 'em.
Maybe.
I guess I could drive my lazy butt up there and grab one if I wanted
Give 'em
to.
a call on the way
Take a
home.
coupon for this plug, you know.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, hey guys, I'm going to release a reel and I'm going to geo drop it right on top
Yeah.
of their restaurant right
and
there.
and the steak kebabs to die for.
The that dessert we had.
I don't remember what it was.
I don't either, but it was so good. It was like a pudding pastry, and then it had pistachio ice cream on top of it.
Well, I like desserts and sweets because I'm a borderline diabetic. I got the sugars.
So, speaking of that, when you finished your last show, do you remember what your first meal was? Did you guys plan the?
Okay, so my I made my pro debut in Long Beach, California, right in 2019, like right before COVID happened, which ended up being great because now I don't know if we'll go back to California.
Yeah, that's a good place to leave.
Yeah. So,
from what I hear, everyone's leaving.
We went to In-N-Out because I love In-N-Out Burger.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So that was good. We went there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's almost always a burger for
Always
either
a
of us.
burger. When I was
Multiple burgers. We should
early
say.
in my career, it wasn't that. It would be like a whole thing of Oreos, and then I would instantly regret it. But always a burger or a big steak, but usually a burger and fries.
So you got me thinking about Hailey bodybuilding again. I got to brag for Hailey real quick. All right.
Please.
So people don't realize that Hailey won junior. She won a bunch of regional shows to qualify for nationals, right? And then we went out to South Carolina to junior USAs, and she won first place in her class, which at most pro qualifiers, that makes you pro if you win your class, right? But this particular show, you have to get top 3 in the overall. So she had to go against...
Out of all the competitors,
Yeah.
bigger, smaller,
Yeah.
everybody.
All of the heights of women's figure, right? And Hailey ended up getting 4th. So 1 spot shy. We're like, oh my gosh, what the hell? And we were so broke at the time. We were maxing out credit cards, traveling the country, doing shows.
I was paying a lot to go to
Yes.
this. Yeah.
And so about a month later, we went to
Junior
NPC Junior
Nationals.
Nationals, which at the time was in Chicago. Since COVID has moved to Chattanooga, I believe,
Yeah.
Tennessee. And then Hailey ended up winning her class there in women's figure, which turned her pro. And then took a year off, got big as shit. Went from the NPC to the IFBB, also from figure to IFBB physique, women's physique, which is a step up. And then made your pro debut, looked great, but didn't place, you know, and then that's the last time she competed for now. But gonna make a comeback in a few years.
You think you will? You think you're going to get back on the horse?
I think so. Something nobody usually asks me about, but I'm glad that we're talking about
I
it.
don't think
because
you're retired.
I'm not retired.
Well, you're still young too.
We wanted to have kids. We wanted to have a family, and those two things cannot coexist.
Yeah.
Being a IFBB, a high-level bodybuilder, and being fertile enough to have children and then breastfeed them just doesn't go together. And I knew that for the longest time, we didn't know if we wanted to have kids. And then once COVID happened, which was a blessing in a lot of ways for us, even though it sucked overall for the country and the world, we were like, you know what, let's have a kid. And that was probably the best decision we've made together. And now having another one on the way to be here in December. But I can always go back to bodybuilding. Like, I already earned my pro status. I know how to train. I love training. I know I can get
Yeah,
in
because
shape again.
once you have a pro card, you have a pro card, right?
Yeah.
It never expires,
Yeah, there's
right?
some new rules around that now for renewal. But yeah, once you're a pro unless they take it away from you or you don't renew it.
Do they shake you down for like a yearly membership thing?
Yeah, that's a new thing that they just came out with. I think prior to, I don't know the exact
I think it
year,
was
but
if
prior to 2024 or 2025, unless you compete again, you don't have to renew. So like I won my pro card and I competed in 2019. So like I'm a pro regardless, and if I want to compete again, then I'll be subject to the renewal once every like 3 years or something. But
It's like $200 or something like that.
once you turn pro, you're
Once you
good.
turn pro too, your show entries are free. You still have to pay for your travel to get there unless you have a sponsor, but your entries are free. You know, there's some perks, but also everybody wants to be an IFBB pro, this and that. Doesn't matter. I mean, it's cool. It's a huge accolade, but it's just kind of in the fitness world. It's like putting PhD in front of your name. You know, it's just it's just another. What's the word I'm looking for?
It's a stepping stone, right? Or it's a milestone.
It's another credential. That's all it is. You know, and people are like, oh, I'm a pro bodybuilder. Unless you're one of the top pro bodybuilders in the world, you are not making money. You are broke. That's why you need to create a gym, create a brand, be a coach, be an online trainer, all kinds of stuff, right? So
it's tough too, because there's a lot of, when you think of an influencer, there's so many fitness influencers out there. And I sometimes think the water is a little muddied, because once you get to a certain status or level, you have all these people who say, hey, talk about our product, sponsor our product, pitch our product, because you've got a big following. And some of that stuff ain't all that good for you. But you throw a few bucks in front of somebody and say, we're going to give you a bunch of free supplements.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Because I have to imagine the first time a protein powder comes to you and says, hey, take our protein powder on camera, you're probably like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
But it's got to be really hard to say no when it comes to sawdust protein powders.
Yeah, I'll kind of start, and you can segue off of it if you want. But I remember there was a supplement company that contacted Hailey. They have all kinds of protein pre-workouts, SARMs, all kinds of stuff. Popular company, and they were like, oh, hey, we're going to sponsor you. You just need to do X amount of plugs per month with these products. We'll send you. They did send some free products, but it's not like she was getting paid.
And
it's basically you become like
anything great.
You become a glorified
sales rep.
You're
a sales rep.
And that's the other thing. Oh, I'm going to be sponsored by this. Again, if you are not one of the top influencers or bodybuilders in the world, you're just going to you're going to get a discount code. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I hate to break it for you. Yeah. But it's cool though. But I remember being so excited when that happened, and then we're like, oh, this was a letdown. You know?
Yeah, right.
It still is kind of a nice feather in your cap though, for a company to be like, hey. But yeah, that's the problem now with all the stuff that you see out there. It seems like you got to go through 5 reels of people pimping stuff out before you get to just an authentic reel of, hey, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want to put some content out there.
Yeah. We're pretty big advocates now, too. If we don't actually use or believe in the product, we're not going to pimp it out. If we actually like it and use it, yeah, sure, absolutely. But you live and learn, and that's something that we've learned and kind of stand by.
And that's when people are surprised that we don't really use that many products, because it all comes back to food quality, sleep, stress management. There's literally no supplementation that can take the place of all those things.
Yeah, it comes back to
how hard do you train?
Food, a good protein powder for a supplement if you need it. Maybe creatine is good for everybody, good for your brain, cognition, vitamins. There you go. That's really the bread and butter.
I think creatine is something that the whole family should be enjoying. The creatine gummies are too convenient these days. They're too simple. Like, kids can take creatine, right? It ain't going to hurt anybody.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I believe so, yeah.
It's the most widely studied supplement ever.
I've seen the new study out there. Everybody always said, like, you need 5 to 10 grams for muscle building, which is still true. But there's a new study that says if you are sleep deprived, 20 to 25 20 to 25 grams of creatine can basically take away those sleep deprivation feelings.
Cognitively, yeah.
And creatine is like one of the most simple supplements to get. You can go to Hy-Vee or Walgreens anywhere and get creatine.
I remember back in high school when I started taking protein powder, my mom was like, oh, no, you're on steroids. Or, no, you can't do creatine. Creatine's going to kill you. It hurts your kidneys.
Killed all them football players in the 90s. Yeah, they were dropping like flies. It was the creatine.
Yeah, that was trend.
Knocking everybody out. Yeah.
That was trend.
Well, this will age me. So when we were in high school, seniors, when I was lifting weights hard and playing playing football and sports. It was Ultimate Orange. You probably don't even remember. Do you guys remember?
I
Okay.
do. I do. I remember.
Ultimate Orange. Xenadrin was the
that.
so Xenadrin
That's an
was
ephedrine,
it was an
right?
ephedrine pill,
Yeah.
like the ephedrine craze. Now that was blowing people's heads off. That
Y'all
was
got some
crazy.
cheeseburgers.
So here's the thing, guys. You guys are all young compared to me. So I've got you by a couple of years yet.
Yeah.
And so when I started, I know you can't tell this now, but I used to lift Taekwondo.
There's a
One-handers.
beast in there.
Oh, yeah.
There
There's
was.
a beast in
I don't
there.
know if he's still there, but designer protein is what I started off with. It was so bad. What I would do is I would just pour the powder in my mouth, take a swig of milk, shake my head, and swallow.
Ugh.
And I remember back when the guy from Colorado, Phillips, had the magazine.
Bill Phillips.
Bill Phillips.
EAS.
Yes.
Remember the
EAS.
EAS?
Yeah.
Bill
Yeah, so
Phillips.
like when they did
Body
their-
for Life.
Body for Life.
Yeah.
Yep. So I remember I actually did one of those early on, right? And when I worked at GNC for a while too, and like when I started taking creatine, and there was Endurox, which was the which one was that you just mentioned?
Ultimate Orange or Xenadrin?
Xenadrin. It was the
Yeah.
one right before that. I had all of those, and that was and everybody's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're gonna die."
Yeah.
I didn't, but I probably could have.
Probably felt like you were going to a couple times. Boy, you pop a few Xenadrins for a football game at halftime. You're like, I can't breathe.
Hyperventilating.
Well, that's like in college when the original Four Loko came out.
Yeah.
Oh.
I used to.
Dude, what
I used
was
to
that even?
I used to pregame on the original Four Loko. I would have 4 before I
That
left the house.
definitely
And
could've
that's why I got
killed-
arrested a lot in college.
I think Four Loko kept the show Cops in business for like 5 years because they had plenty of content with people in wife beaters
They're
drinking
handing
Four
them out
Logos.
before they-
Yeah.
I might be on there.
Yeah, you might be on some deep tracks.
That's great.
Oh, this is wonderful. So, Delf's Gym, everybody, by the way, what's the address at this joint?
We are 206 East 5th Street.
206 East 5th Street.
Downtown Davenport.
In the most beautiful block of downtown Davenport, I think, or half block at least.
Thanks.
It is really nice here. So if you know where Hotel Blackhawk is, we are 1 block directly north of there on the other side of the railroad tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And people are always like, well, what about parking downtown? We're off the beaten path downtown, but we are downtown.
And we have a parking lot.
We have a parking lot. There's also a parking lot that people use a lot that they're not supposed to for an apartment over here. But if you come during the day, like, it's not full. And then we have on-street parking on both sides of the street. Plenty of parking.
Well, and just if anybody questions you about parking in the parking lot, just say you're buying some bootlegged Xenadrin from somebody that lives in the
Yeah.
apartment there.
Yeah. Tell them you're going to go crawl in the dumpster. Like I saw the guy crawling. There was a guy in the dumpster earlier, and I threw a box in there and hit him on accident. I was like, oh, sorry. He scared the shit out of me.
Downtown's beautiful.
My gosh.
Yep.
Well, we got a couple half-smoked Stogs we could probably give him.
Yeah,
well, I'm
yeah.
taking mine with me. You can give you. That was a delicious cigar, by the way. What was that?
That is a Tabac Negra. It's kind of a coffee flavor. I think it's coffee infused. Delicious. Smells good, too, as far as cigars go.
Now the football season's about to start. Will you guys go to some West football games? Or do you guys still do that or
Maybe.
not?
We
haven't.
should.
We should for sure. We haven't been to a West High football game probably since 2008.
Yeah, probably 07 for
You
me.
were the queen, right? You
Sure
need to go
was.
back to homecoming. When homecoming happens, you guys need to go.
All right.
You guys need to go. You heard it here first. When Davenport West has their homecoming game, the Delfs will be there, rooting for the members of the court.
Meet you there.
I'll try to fit into my old Letterman's jacket.
You know, shame on me though. I don't know if I've ever been to a Wilton Beaver homecoming game since I graduated. So I'll make you that deal.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the Wilton Beaver homecoming game as long as you guys go to West.
We'll
Wouldn't it
do
be
it.
something if we played each other for no good reason?
Oh,
That'd be
we'll
fun.
do it.
That would be great. You know, you guys, seriously, this is an awesome place. You guys are great people. Thank you for coming on the show. You helped me with some views, and I probably got thumbed a few extra times today, so thank you very much for that. So thank you for the thumbing.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having us on. I feel like we could talk for 3 more hours probably.
For sure.
But yeah, thanks for having us. It was a good time.
I got to pick up my son from baseball practice. Can you believe we're in fall baseball now? We have a fall baseball game tomorrow. We just finished summer baseball, and now we're going into fall baseball.
It's really a quick turnaround on
And
that.
and flag football and basketball and all the so look at all the things you guys got to look forward to.
No.
But at least I know your kids are going to eat healthy. They
Oh,
will
yeah.
eat healthy. I can't imagine there's too many packs of double stuffed in the pantry at your house.
Well, if he opens it, it's not going to be there.
Oh, that's
very
one
long.
sitting. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not too much. We do have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, our daughter, we say, "What do you want to eat?" And she usually says beef and rice. So
That is
That's
like
where
her
we are
favorite
with
meal.
that.
Or
I
steak.
am so jealous. Now I will say my kids will eat steak. I'll pat myself on the back. I'm a very good steak griller. I do the rubs and I do all the stuff, and my kids will devour steaks. And we buy all of our steaks from a local butcher.
Nice.
So it's like, guys, the cow that you're eating right now was recently a whole cow walking around eating real grass in a real field. And because that's a weird thing too. Now they're gluing steaks together for
Yeah.
the
Weird.
aesthetics and everything. And there's nothing wrong with your grocery store meat, but I can tell you, no doubt, blind taste test, cooked exactly the same way. You give me a ribeye from a local butcher that just buys their cow, butchers it themselves, and sells the meat, and you put that same size ribeye up against a Hy-Vee, a Fairway, and anywhere that you go and buy your meat, I can taste the difference.
for sure.
It's the weirdest thing.
Definitely something about the quality of meat. You can tell for sure.
Do you grill? Are you a grill guy?
Hailey
I'm
is
the
the grill
griller.
master. Yeah.
Oh my God! You can't swallow pills.
Yeah.
You don't run the
I
grill,
handle all the meat.
and
Yep.
your estrogen level is high.
Haley handles the meat. Haley handles the meat. I lay the meat.
I'm
well,
hard. Can't get me pregnant again, I guess.
well, there you go. Boy, thank you. You just helped me make another reel. That's
There you
that's
go.
going to be another clip right
Yeah.
there. All right, everybody. Ryan and Hailey Delf, Delf's Gym. If you ain't here, you're missing out. If you want to be a little less wimpy, get your butt down here and lift some weights. They'll teach you how to eat. They'll teach you how to lift. And they'll teach you just how to be a cool-ass person. So, guys, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you
Thank
again.
you.
And I'll be seeing you in here working out. I still got some time left on my month here. And I might extend it another month. I feel like I haven't got my fill of Delf yet. And then we can always go find some other place here in town. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining Joe Braymeyer Live. And